she was never just a tennis player. She was a system, a machine, a perfect storm of discipline, control, and silence that ruled world tennis for over a decade. 22 Grand Slam titles, a golden slam that no one has ever repeated, a career built on perfection so precise it almost didn't look human. But now at 56, something has shifted. Because for the first time, Steffi Graf is finally speaking in a way she never did before. And what she reveals is not about trophies. It's about everything the world never saw. So the real question is, was she ever truly free? Or was perfection just another kind of prison? To understand Steffi Graf, you don't start with fame, you start with silence. A young girl in West Germany, a tennis racket placed in her hand before she even understood what choice meant. There were no normal childhood rhythms, no long afternoons of freedom, no ordinary mistakes. Because very early, life became structured around one thing only: win, improve, repeat. Her father wasn't just a parent watching from the side. He was the architect of everything, every movement, every training session, every correction. Nothing was random. And slowly, something changed in her world, not loudly, not visibly, but permanently. Childhood stopped being a phase and became a system of discipline. When she entered professional tennis, the world didn't see a teenager. They saw precision, control, power without emotion. Her forehand became legendary. Her movement on court looked almost mechanical, like every step had been calculated before she even made it. And she started winning. Fast, relentlessly. Grand Slam after Grand Slam. Wimbledon, French Open, Wimbledon, French Open, US Open, Australian Open. The world began to say words like perfect, unstoppable, unbreakable. But behind every victory, something else was forming: expectation. Because once you become perfect, people stop allowing you to be human. And that's where the shift began. Because perfection is not freedom, it's pressure that never ends. Every match was no longer just a game. It was proof that she was still what the world believed she was. No mistakes allowed. No emotional cracks allowed. No failure allowed. Even fatigue became invisible. Even pain became private. And slowly, the line between Steffi the person and Steffi the symbol began to disappear. The world didn't want a girl anymore. They wanted an icon, and icons are not allowed to fall apart. Then came 1988, the year everything aligned perfectly. 4 Grand Slams and Olympic gold, the Golden Slam. A moment so rare, so mathematically impossible, that it redefined what dominance even meant. To the world, she had reached the peak of human performance. But peaks have a hidden truth. The higher you go, the less oxygen you have to breathe. And while the world celebrated perfection, something quieter was happening inside her. Wins no longer felt like emotion, they felt like repetition. Applause no longer felt like joy. It felt distant, like it was happening to someone else. Because when you are always expected to win, winning stops meaning anything at all. And then came the silence. Not an explosion, not a dramatic fall, just distance. She began to step away from the constant spotlight. Less interviews, less presence, more privacy. The world didn't understand it, because they thought success meant more exposure. But for her, success had already taken everything loud away. What remained was quiet. And in that quiet, questions began to surface. Who am I when I am not winning? Who am I when no one is watching? Who am I without expectations? But there were no easy answers. Only time and silence. Then something subtle happened. Life moved forward, away from constant competition, away from the identity built entirely on performance. And in that space, she began to rebuild something different. Not a champion, not an icon, but a person. She met Andre Agassi, another athlete who understood pressure, expectation, and the strange loneliness of greatness. And in that connection, something shifted. For the first time, she wasn't being viewed through achievement. She was being understood as a human being, not perfect, not symbolic, just real. And that changed everything. Years passed, and the version of Steffi Graf that emerged was no longer defined by scoreboards. She retired in 1999. Not as a collapse, but as a choice. A decision to stop before life became only repetition. She stepped away from professional tennis and slowly built a quieter life. Family, privacy, stability. A life not measured in trophies, but in normal moments. Breakfast without pressure, days without schedules. Time that belonged to her. And maybe for the first time, peace was not something she had to fight for. It simply existed. At 56, when she finally reflects publicly, it's not a dramatic confession. It's something deeper. A recognition that greatness always has a cost, not always visible, not always spoken, but always carried. Because when the world builds you into perfection, it rarely asks what it takes to become it. And maybe that is what people always suspected, that behind the discipline, there was pressure. Behind the success, there was sacrifice. And behind the silence, there was a life that had to be slowly rediscovered. So the real question is not whether Steffi Graf was great. That was never in doubt. The question is, what does greatness cost when you start too young to choose it? And more importantly, how do you find yourself again after the world has already decided who you are? Because sometimes the hardest match in life is the one played after the final trophy is already won. If this story made you think differently about success, pressure, and identity, don't forget to subscribe and maybe ask yourself one thing before you go. Are you living your life or just performing it?